You think your car's ready for winter until the first cold morning proves you wrong? You turn the key, nothing. The battery's dead. The windows are fogged, the wipers smear, and the road feels like glass. Every winter, thousands of drivers find out too late that their cars weren't prepared for the cold. Most of those breakdowns could have been avoided with a few simple checks. So, before the frost shows up, before that first icy commute, here are 9 things you must do to make sure your car survives winter. Each one is simple, practical, and designed to keep your car reliable when the temperature drops. Starting at number 1. Test and strengthen the car battery. Cold weather is the enemy of a weak battery. And here's why. When the temperature falls, the chemical reaction inside your car's battery slows down. That means less power to crank your engine, less voltage for your headlights, and more frustration on a freezing morning. A battery that worked perfectly in summer can suddenly fail overnight once the temperature hits 0. That's why mechanics say winter doesn't kill weak batteries, it simply exposes them. So if your battery is more than 3 years old, if your car cranks slowly in the morning, and if your dashboard lights flicker when you start, don't wait. Pop the hood and have it tested. Most auto shops do it for free. If it's weak, replace it now, not when you're stuck in a parking lot with a dead engine. And while you're there, check the terminals. Clean off corrosion, that greenish crust that blocks current flow. Tighten the clamps. A clean, tight connection makes a bigger difference than you think. Because when it's -10 and the wind feels like knives, the last thing you want is a silent ignition. Check tire tread, inflation, and consider winter tires. Your tires are your car's only connection to the road. 4 small patches of rubber, that's it. And in winter, they decide everything. When the temperature drops, rubber stiffens. When the road is wet, icy, or covered in slush, traction disappears. And here's the kicker, cold air also reduces tire pressure. For every 10-degree F drop, you lose about 1 psi. That means your tires can look fine, but they're actually underinflated. Low pressure reduces grip and increases stopping distance. Exactly what you don't want on icy roads. So check your tire pressure at least once a month during winter. Use the number on the door jamb, not what's printed on the tire. It's usually around 32 to 35 psi for most sedans. And take a look at the tread depth. If it's below 4 millimeters, start thinking about replacements. Because in snow, shallow tread is basically like ice skates. Now, if you live where snow sticks around for months, winter tires are worth it. They're made of softer rubber that stays flexible in freezing temperatures. That gives you better grip, better braking, and better control when everything else slips. All-season tires are fine for mild climates. But if you've ever slid through a stop sign on packed snow, you already know the difference. Ensure your fluids are winter-ready. Your car runs on fluids as much as it does on fuel, and cold weather changes how they behave. Motor oil thickens. Coolant loses protection. Washer fluid freezes. When oil thickens, your engine struggles to turn over. The starter works harder and wear increases. That's why your owner's manual lists different oil grades for winter, like 5W30 instead of 10W30. The W stands for winter. Next, coolant. It's not just about keeping the engine cool, it prevents freezing too. A proper 50-50 mix of antifreeze and water usually protects down to about 34-degree wires. If you live in extreme cold, go a little stronger. And don't forget your windshield washer fluid. The regular blue stuff might freeze in the tank or smear across the glass like oil. Use winter-rated fluid that's built for sub-zero temps. It'll spray even when everything else freezes solid, because you can't drive what you can't see. Inspect brakes, belts, hoses, and wear items. Winter puts every part of your car under pressure. The cold stiffens rubber, salt, and grime attack metal, and moisture creeps into places it shouldn't. The result? Parts that normally last for years suddenly begin to show their limits. Your brakes, belts, and hoses take the biggest hit. Brakes in particular are your lifeline when the road turns slick. If you feel pulsation in the pedal, hear grinding or squealing, or notice your stopping distance growing, don't dismiss it. A faint squeak today can become a dangerous loss of braking power tomorrow. Cold weather also makes brake fluid more susceptible to moisture contamination, so a quick inspection or flush can restore full strength. Moving under the hood, take a close look at the belts and hoses that power your alternator, cooling system, and steering. These components expand and contract with temperature swings, and in freezing weather, the rubber loses flexibility. Cracked, glazed, or frayed belts can snap without warning, leaving you stranded. Soft or bulging hoses can leak coolant, which means no heat, no circulation, and an overheated engine, even in freezing air. A 15-minute inspection now can save you from an expensive tow later. And if you're unsure what to look for, any mechanic can spot the warning signs in a quick checkup. When it's freezing outside, even a minor leak can turn into a major breakdown faster than you think. Replace wiper blades and use winter-grade washer fluid. You can have the best tires and strongest brakes, but it means nothing if you can't see the road ahead. Visibility is the first thing winter steals from you. Old wiper blades, hardened by the cold, begin to skip across the windshield, leaving streaks and chatter instead of a clear view. The rubber becomes stiff, and instead of wiping water away, it smears it across the glass. That's why switching to winter-rated wiper blades before the season starts makes all the difference. These blades are wrapped in a flexible rubber boot that prevents snow and ice from building up on the frame, allowing smoother, consistent motion even in freezing rain. Pair that with a proper winter washer fluid rated to at least 20 quantiziscars, and you've eliminated one of the biggest winter frustrations. Ordinary washer fluid can freeze in the reservoir or smear grime across the windshield when you need clarity most. Before winter fully sets in, drain the old fluid and fill up with a low-temperature mix. And always take a few extra minutes before driving to clear every bit of snow and ice from the windshield, mirrors, headlights, and taillights. A small delay in your driveway is worth the safety it brings on the road. In winter, visibility isn't a luxury, it's survival. Protect the exterior, undercarriage, and rubber seals. Winter not only tests your car mechanically, it wears it down cosmetically and structurally too. The salt used to melt snow on roads is highly corrosive, eating away at paint, metal, and any exposed surface underneath your vehicle. Slush, sand, and gravel add to the assault, grinding into your car's finish and accelerating rust. That's why one of the smartest pre-winter moves you can make is to give your car a full wash and a protective coat of wax before the first snowfall. The wax acts like armor, sealing the paint and creating a slick barrier that makes it harder for salt to stick. But don't stop at what you can see. Your undercarriage needs attention too. This is where corrosion often begins, quietly and out of sight. During the season, rinse the underbody at least once every few weeks, especially after driving on heavily salted roads. Most car washes now offer underbody sprays designed specifically for this. It's a small investment that prevents long-term rust damage. Also, remember, the rubber seals around your doors, trunk, and windows. In freezing weather, they can harden and stick to the metal, making doors difficult to open or even tearing the seal when you pull too hard. Applying a silicone-based lubricant or dedicated rubber conditioner keeps them soft, flexible, and frost-proof. Protecting your car's exterior isn't vanity, it's longevity. A few preventive steps now will keep your car looking and feeling solid for years to come. Pack an emergency winter kit. Even with perfect preparation, winter has a way of throwing surprises. You could be driving home when a snowstorm rolls in out of nowhere, traffic stalls, and visibility drops to almost nothing. Or maybe you slide off the road late at night and need to wait for help. In moments like that, what's inside your car matters as much as what's under the hood. That's why every driver should have an emergency winter kit ready before the first frost. Think of it as your mobile safety net. Pack warm blankets or a sleeping bag to retain heat if you're stuck for hours. Add gloves, hats, and hand warmers so you don't lose dexterity to the cold. Include bottled water and some non-perishable snacks like energy bars in case you're stranded longer than expected. A flashlight with extra batteries, jumper cables, an ice scraper, and a compact shovel can turn a stressful delay into a manageable situation. For traction on icy surfaces, a small bag of sand, salt, or kitty litter can help you get unstuck when your tires spin. And don't forget your phone charger or power bank. Communication is your lifeline. If you travel through rural areas or mountains, upgrade your kit with flares, a reflective vest, and a basic first aid pack. You might never use it, but when you do, it could make all the difference. Being prepared doesn't make you paranoid, it makes you smart. Keep the fuel tank topped and reduce interior moisture. One of the smallest details most drivers overlook in winter is fuel level. When it's cold, an empty or low fuel tank can cause big problems. Air inside the tank condenses into moisture, which can then freeze and clog fuel lines, preventing your engine from starting. Keeping your tank at least half full minimizes condensation and ensures the fuel system stays warm and pressurized. It also buys you time if you get stuck in traffic or bad weather, allowing you to keep the heater running without fear of running dry. Inside the cabin, moisture can create its own headaches. Snowy boots and wet clothes introduce humidity that fogs up windows, ices over glass, and leaves your interior damp. Use rubber floor mats instead of carpet ones, so you can easily dump the slush. Wipe your shoes before entering and periodically run your AC for a few minutes, even in cold weather since the air conditioner acts as a dehumidifier. Crack your windows slightly for a few moments after parking to let trapped moisture escape. A dry cabin feels warmer, smells fresher, and makes defrosting quicker. Managing both your fuel and interior humidity keeps your car running smoothly and your mornings frustration-free. Double-check lights and visibility systems. As winter sets in, daylight fades fast. Early sunsets, overcast skies, and heavy snowfall can make even daytime driving feel dim. That's why your lights become your second set of eyes. Every week or so, take a slow walk around your car and make sure every light works. Headlights, brake lights, turn signals, fog lights, and reverse lights. Dirt, salt, and slush can form a film over lenses that cuts visibility by half, even if the bulbs are fine. A quick wipe with a soft cloth can instantly improve your brightness and make your car more visible to others. If your headlights look yellowed or cloudy, restore them with a polishing kit. It's cheap and can drastically improve nighttime vision. Modern cars often have sensors and cameras for lane assist, parking, or collision warning systems, but these are useless if they're covered in snow or grime. Wipe them before driving, especially around the bumpers and mirrors. Even windshield cameras can freeze or fog over confusing automatic systems. Take those few seconds to clear every lens before hitting the road, because the one time you'll really need those systems to work will be during the worst weather. And if you find this video to be helpful, be sure to check out our videos here, where we talk about diagnosing a bad starter problem. The link will be in the description box and section here,